السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. As y'all may have noticed in my most recent video, may have been a bit longer than I anticipated for, but inshallah y'all were able to extract some sort of benefit from it nonetheless. And my goal is to have this video and future videos to be as short as possible, inshallah. Be strictly reminders rather than full-on lessons or lectures like the last one. Now, what I want to focus on today, it's a very important topic, is the topic of Salah. Prayer, as our Desi friends know it as namaz. For the sake of this video, we'll describe it solely as Salah. No offense to my Desis or anything. Now, what I wanted to specifically focus on regarding Salah is the benefits that come from Salah. Now, from the authentic hadith, the Prophet ﷺ tells us that on the Day of Judgment, the first thing that we will be held accountable for, the first thing that we will be asked about, will be our Salah. It will be our prayer, and if that's sound, then all the rest of our deeds will be sound, will be good. If it's not, then we've got a problem. Inshallah, I pray that all of us are amongst those whose Salah is sound. Inshallah, Ameen. Now, from this hadith, we can obviously see that Salah has a very important role in our lives, as it should, and it's one of the most important acts, if not the most important act of worship that we have to offer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, as kids, we're raised with this mentality that, pray, and if you pray, then you'll go to heaven. Allah will be happy with you. And this incentive is more than enough. We don't need anything else other than this to have, this motivation to pray, to have this salah, to establish the salah in its appointed times. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Him being al-Kareem, Him being the all-generous, the most generous, He goes even further than this. He doesn't just have salah, He doesn't just give us this benefit in the next life, but He also allows it to have benefit for us in this life. And that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is Him being the most generous, beyond anything that we can imagine. And what I want to share of the benefits in this life, they come from an ayah in Surah Al-Ankabut, the 45th ayah more specifically. Not even the whole ayah, just a snippet of the ayah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر. Verily, indeed, salah protects one from committing these vile, these obscene acts. So fahsha and munkar, there's no accurate one-word translation to fully convey what they really mean, as most Arabic words. But just to kind of give a summary, a quick definition, they can be better described as the immoral, obscene, vile acts, the indecencies. All of those fall under this category of fahsha and munkar. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying here that establishing your prayers, establishing them on time in their appointed times, will prevent one from being near these fahsha and munkar. So now the question kind of comes up, alright, I'm praying my 5 daily prayers, I'm establishing them in their appointed times, and I'm still finding myself, near these fahsha and munkar. What's the possible explanation for this? And obviously there's only one of two things that could explain this. Either one, this ayah is not true, this ayah is not right, and Allah is not telling us the truth. And obviously we know that's not the case. وَعْدَ اللَّهِ حَقٌّ, the promise of Allah is true. So that's stuff like this can't be the case. The only other viable explanation is that we're not establishing the prayers correctly. And that's kind of like a reminder, that's the topic for a different video. What I wanted for you guys to take away, if anything, of course a reminder for myself first and foremost, then to you, is to identify salah, not only having the benefit in the next life, but also to see it as this source of tranquility, a source of calmness that it is in this life. And to be able to, the next time you pray, to be able to realize, salah, it's more than just, the movements, the physical movements. It's also the emotional, the spiritual, the mental aspect of it that is just as important, if not more important, than the physical aspect of it. So kind of have this in mind next time you pray. Know that, salah, it's preventing you from these fahsha and munkar if done correctly. Inshallah, in a future video, we can focus on khushu' and concentration in salah. Jazakallah khair for listening and watching. And as I mentioned in the other video, please feel more than free to leave any feedback. Won't be offended at all. Please feel free to comment publicly, privately, however you feel. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.